Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Khalil Doheny, and I'm the Content Marketing Manager here at DNA. And today I'll be moderating the Signature Athletics webinar. Dan, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for setting this up.
Of course. Let's give it a little bit to have people, come on in. We see there's some people already joining. That's great. How's everyone doing? Where are you guys from? There's a little chat box here on the bottom. Feel free to let us know where you're from and what excites you today about this webinar. Some people joining in. Like I said, we'll give it a little bit so people can, swing on in.
We can get started with the video while we wait, if that works.
Yeah, let's give it like a minute or so, so we have more opportunity for people to watch the video, and then if we have some time at the end as well, we could show the video again.
Sounds good.
All right, so we have St. Louis from Lance Moore from St. Louis. Loves the Signature products, wants to learn more about the company and the future prospects. We have Craig from California, investor on Start Engine, and excited to see the direction for Signature and how you'll expand out west. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Craig. We're excited to have you.
Awesome. I think we can go ahead, Dan, if you want to show the video.
All right. Well, before we get started, I do just want to say thank you to everybody who made the time to come and be a part of this. And we're really excited to get started. So I'll play this video to kick off, and then do you want to give kind of an overview of the webinar, what everyone can expect?
Yeah, of course. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to show you this video. It's their campaign video you can find this video on the Signature Athletics Start Engine page. And then Dan is going to present his pitch deck to everyone here. And then from there, go into how 2021 was and its highlights, and then jump into what we can expect for 2022. And then we'll open the floor for questions and then any closing words afterwards.
Beautiful. I'll kick it off with the video here. At Signature, we're trying to solve the biggest problems in youth sports, and it turns out ordering uniforms and fan gear is an archaic, brutal process. It's a huge headache for program directors, and it takes them away from doing what they love, which is being on the field. So we set out to solve that with the introduction of the Signature Partner Program Team Stores. And what that is a 24/7, 365 team store. We have a network of service providers around the US. Everything is made in the USA. We drop ship the orders right to the parent. The order goes right through our website and right to the vendors. So there's no order forms, there's no gathering checks as a program director. The entire headache is taken off the program director's plate, and we take care of everything.
When I first started running youth programs, I didn't recognize at the time that the biggest problem would be the uniforms. I would switch vendors. I wouldn't be able to develop a relationship with the vendors. They would overpromise, underdeliver every single time. If there's a whole batch that's late, then our whole program's affected. We'll miss our first game. And if we only have a couple of games in the season, that's really a big problem. If there's the sizing charts or the sizing's messed up, then we have players that some have uniforms, some don't. And then the people that don't or have the uniforms that aren't fitting, then are delayed even farther into the season. After years of changing vendors, even trying to do it myself, I finally found the Signature Partner Program. Now my players come onto the team store, they order their uniforms, they order their fan gear, everything ships directly to their house, and I'm taken out of the middle completely.
At Signature, we're e-commerce experts. So we take care of the entire team store setup. We take care of all the merchandise. We load you up with 40 products, a fall line, a winter line, a summer line. We include hats, visors, beanies, jackets, shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, sports bra, duffel bag, water bottle, anything you can think of, we probably have it. And we do that all for free.
And not to mention, 5% comes back to our programs that we can use for scholarships to continue to grow the game.
And we just want to say thank you to all the programs for trusting us to fully outfit your teams. Going from a lacrosse player to a founder and CEO of a company, it would not be possible without all the amazing team members we've had, the amazing clients, mentors, coaches throughout my playing career and my professional career. And we just really want to say thank you to everybody who's helped us along our journey. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all that amazing support. And now we're looking for partners to come join us in that mission.
Awesome.
At Signature.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that video, but the firm that did it with us, they did an incredible job.
Yeah, it was a great video. Dan, do you want to give a quick, background about yourself? How you started and how it got to where you are today?
Yeah, definitely. So for anybody who doesn't know me, my name's Dan Soviero, and I am the founder and CEO of Signature. And I got started when I was in college playing lacrosse up at St. John's. And the idea was really simple. All lacrosse balls were the same. We wanted to make a better ball. And from there, we ended up getting exclusive deal with the Pro League, the NLL, and then the WPLL at the time was the Women's Pro League, and then the MLL was the Outdoor Pro League. And we got first right of refusal with them and really insulated us as the official ball of the pro leagues. And then from there, we expanded our product lines, complete sticks, goals, and then the team stores. So it's been now a 6-year journey. And like I said in the video, if it wasn't for all the amazing mentors and coaches and teammates that we've had along this journey, we would not be close to where we are today. And now we're in a really exciting spot.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah. So now, Dan, if you wanted to go through your pitch deck and, give a little insight about Signature Athletics. And if anyone has a question throughout while Dan presents this pitch deck, feel free to leave those questions in this chat box below, and then we'll be sure to answer them at the end after the pitch deck is completed. Take the floor, Dan. It's all yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this a little bit more informal. So as Khalil said, as you have questions, throw them in there and I'll answer them live if they're relevant, or I'll answer them at the end if Khalil feels like some of them should wait. To get started, just a real overview of what Signature is. So Signature Athletics is a tech-enabled sports apparel brand that's changing the way players get their gear and what they expect out of their gear by transforming the bulk order process for custom teamwear into an on-demand model. So in a nutshell, instead of program directors having to get a big box and hand stuff out at the fields, we drop ship everything right to the parent's door, and the program director doesn't have to deal with any of the headache. Through this journey, we've acquired over 90,000 unique clients. We've done over 10 million in lifetime sales, and we're now raising our Series A round. We're over halfway funded. We've raised just over $1 million, and we should finish up the rest of this round by the end of the quarter. So why did I get into this and why are we doing this? It really all started with my dad. So my dad's not really a religious guy, but he would always say a prayer for my brother and I. And he would say a prayer that we would have a positive impact on the world. And so that's always been a North Star for me personally. And when I thought about what I wanted to do with my life, when I was, I don't know, 7th, 8th grade, the first thought was, I'm playing Pop Warner football, I'm going to go into the NFL. That didn't pan out. And so when I thought, all right, realistically, what do I want to do? I was fortunate enough to get a Division I scholarship to go play lacrosse up at St. John's. I knew playing pro lacrosse wasn't really a dream of mine. And I was fortunate enough to find business at an early age. I think I got started with my first business around 15, 16 years old, and I just fell in love with it. The idea of solving somebody's problem and being able to make money from doing that and create jobs was just a really cool feeling. And so when I thought about the North Star that I have and what I wanted to do with my life, giving more kids these same opportunities that I was fortunate enough to have through sports was really something that felt really meaningful to me. And so that was what prompted me to start thinking about, well, what's a problem in the sport of lacrosse that I could solve that might be able to be built into a business. And once we launched the premium lacrosse ball and started to really see some traction with that, we started going back to that same core ethos of what's a good problem in the market that we could solve. And that's what grew into the complete sticks, the quick connect goal, and then now this on-demand team store model. So our vision is to serve athletes with their favorite apparel, very focused. We're on a mission to inspire lifelong champions through an endless pursuit of a 5-star experience for athletes. So we really aim to empower athletes by solving problems through an innovative personal approach to service. And we build feedback loops into our client journeys. So we're getting feedback directly from the people who matter the most, and that's guiding our whole product development process. This is a high-level overview of the problem that we're solving. So ordering custom uniforms and fan gear for programs is super inefficient. You can see here just all the different steps in the process. There's actually a couple that are even left out of here. It gets even more miserable, if you could imagine. And so what we did was we just cut all of the middlemen out of the process, and parents come on, they order directly from the team store, and then we drop ship it right to their home. If there's ever any issues, they come right back to us. We deal with it directly. Program director and coaches don't have to worry about it at all. So it's a pretty simple value prop for our clients. We've also figured out a way to position it where we're actually eliminating apparel as an expense from most programs that we work with from their P&L. So it actually makes the programs more profitable, and that allows them to reinvest into either growing the program or scholarshiping kids who otherwise couldn't afford to be a part of the program. Let me see here. So the value prop for our clients, we're saving program directors on average 50 to 100 hours of administrative work. We're adding anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 to the bottom line, depending on the size of the program. And we're able to, on average, 5x the amount of sales that they're getting for their team branded merch. And if you think about it, when you have 5 times the amount of team branded merch on the players and the parents in your program, they're going to wear that to school. They're going to wear it to birthday parties. They're going to wear it in their day-to-day life. And that's going to get other people seeing the brand and seeing, oh, maybe my kid wants to try lacrosse. So we really think that that's going to lead to a nice network effect and have some good results for actually growing programs. For shareholders, it's a really efficient model. We're capturing first-party data and we're building the brand through that first-party data. So it's a super low customer acquisition cost. We're able to diversify the product categories, the sales channels. The direct-to-consumer channel is going to be the most profitable, and it's going to spread the revenue across a way bigger number of people. So we don't have a concentration of revenue with a single client. Recurring revenue model, we're signing programs up to a 3-year agreement. So we're really just building on top of that base of revenue every single year. Our management team, we've got some really incredible people on the team. We've got Andrew Gilliland, our VP of Ecom and Systems. He's built multiple seven-figure direct-to-consumer ecom brands. He is an e-commerce, IT, and systems expert. More than that, he has a real knack for business and people, and that's what makes him so dangerous as a e-commerce IT expert. When you can have that skill set and communicate with people, it's a deadly combo. Bobby Kittleson, our director of ops, she's got 20 years of experience managing supply chain for custom team branded products. She scaled the sports apparel and equipment brand, College Town Sports, and then exited it to Rydell, and then stayed on with them for a couple years and actually ended up doubling the business again. Brian Bone has been with me in Signature for, I think, almost 4 or 5 years now. Incredible guy, bilingual, seasoned OEM leader, record goal setter, most goals in a half in NCAA lacrosse, which is pretty cool. More than that, though, he's an incredible salesman. He takes real care of the clients, and he's been an incredible mentor for our new sales reps that have come in over the last quarter. Kelsey Young, our client success manager. I can't say enough about Kelsey. She came in as an executive assistant, took over our client success, managing it herself. And then now as we've scaled and we've had 2 people underneath her, she's grown into a client success manager and just done an incredible job. Kyle Harris, our marketing manager, formerly led the brand marketing for the NHL's Avalanche franchise, did all their social media. Veronica, our new accounting manager, she came on early 2021. She has over 10 years public and private accounting experience. She's taken a company public before, and she's managed some very complex accounting. A couple companies that had more than 10 subsidiaries, so very complex stuff, which makes this a breeze for her, which is awesome for us. Nick Sikevich, the commissioner of the NLL, founder and a founding executive of Major League Soccer, is an advisor of ours. Tyler Hart is a new advisor of ours, founder and portfolio manager for Pelican Bay Capital. 20 plus years of experience in mergers, acquisitions, and really a finance expert. And then Jacques Spitzer. Jacques an invested advisor. He came on Q4 of last year, runs a company called Raindrop, their creative ad agency, over 100 employees. They made the #1 rated ad on YouTube in 2020. So we're really excited to have him on board. They invested over 400 grand and are going to be leading our expansion and the launch of SignatureLocker.com and our expansion into field hockey, soccer, basketball, and eventually all sports. So really strong management team. I think that's the biggest highlight for us is we really have a strong management team in place. We've been executing really well as a group for the last 3 years. We've added some new key players that'll help accelerate our growth into 2022 and 2023. We did secure a design manager. So we don't really think we're going to need a VP of design. We're going to just roll with a design manager in 2022 and then look at expanding and hiring a couple more designers in 2023. And then VP of product, I'm going to fill this role for 2022, something I'm really passionate about. And we did bring on a product manager that's going to be taking over a lot of the day-to-day, an amazing young woman, Sophia Blano, who's helping me run all of the product. We're tackling a $500 billion market. The annual growth rate's over 3%. We're focused right now on the $1 billion team sport uniform market. once we launch the Signature Athletic Apparel line middle of this year, that'll expand us into the global athleisure market. So we're really excited about that. Some milestones that we've hit along the way. We have been granted 3 design patents. We have 1 patent pending for our software that we've developed. We launched a 501c3 called the Signature Foundation, and that's where we run some of our philanthropic marketing funnels, like our Grow the Game grant program. And then we'll actually be launching our Signature Scholarship Fund this year, towards the end of this year, early next year, which is something I'm really excited about. We'll actually be we'll be partnering with a group like Big Brothers Big Sisters, and then scholarshiping kids from marginalized backgrounds, so that they can have an opportunity to try a sport that they might never have had the opportunity to play, which is really, really cool. We'll launch signaturelocker.com this year. We'll launch in April or May, and that'll launch us into field hockey, and then we'll launch into soccer, basketball at the beginning of next year, 2023. Our track record. So you can see when we raised our initial seed round in 2020, we raised a $500,000 round. We told investors we're going to sign 38 programs by the end of 2021. We updated the projections in April of 2021 when we passed that number of programs signed. And in 2021, we passed 76 programs again in August. And so we updated the projections again to 80 programs. And in Q4 of last year, we actually passed those projections as well. So we signed over 100 programs by the end of last year, which was an incredible testament to the product market fit. Looking at some of the key KPIs that really drive the model. So I'm really going to focus on the actuals because that's what we're allowed to do with the Regulation CF SEC requirements. So the real drivers of our business model are the account retention rate. So of the programs that we sign, how many of them are we retaining? The number one driver for account retention rate is on-time delivery rate. We recognize that Q2 of last year and started building out really strong supply chain plans. And that was what prompted us to hire a director of client fulfillment, Bobby Kittleson, to really help quarterback hardening our supply chain so we could handle the production capacity expansion that we saw coming with the product market fit and just how many programs we were signing. So account retention rate is huge. The number of players under contract that will be ordering within the fiscal year is something that we talk about internally all the time. And at the start of 2021, at the start of 2022, we thought we would have 6,000 players. We actually have 12,000 players. So 12,555 players to start the year, which was really, really exciting. The annual lifetime value. So how much are each of these players going to spend on average throughout the year? And that's really a function of how well we're doing managing the client journey, everything from SMS to email marketing to social to the content days that we do where we're sending somebody out to the fields to mic up a kid in the program and do some photo and video content. And that's really what drives the total order value for the year for this team sales channel. Moving along to the financials, again, I'm only going to focus on the historical because that's what we're allowed to do. We were able to hit our projections for 2021. We actually exceeded them just slightly. I'll share that in a moment. We had a $2.6 million plan. That's up from $1.8 million in 2020. We ended up achieving that. So we had 68% year-over-year growth. We ended up achieving a $2.68 million sales. Let me share that real quick. So one thing I'll highlight, we were out of stock for over 3 months of the year in lacrosse balls, which is obviously a #1 seller for us. And that was just COVID supply chain constraints that have plagued everybody. I think our team did a really good job of managing through that as best we could, but we still ran into some out of stock issues. So we were out of stock on goals the entire year. We had them in the beginning of Q1, but we sold out pretty quick, and then we were out of stock the entire year. And then balls we were out of stock on. So that presents a really good opportunity for us going into this year and next year. And even with that, we were able to hit 2.68 million in sales. So we beat the projections, and we beat the projections of 2.62 million, just slightly. We were able to acquire 10X officially. And so that's this service revenue right here of 450. They actually ended up doing closer to 480 last year, which is great. What I will do is put this beautiful image of our logo up while I talk about our 2021 highlights. So there's really 5 key highlights that I want to go over. So we were able to achieve 68% year-over-year growth. We went from 1.8 million to 2.68 million, which is pretty incredible. We, especially considering the out of stocks, we were able to, so the first big highlight was strengthening our supply chain to expand our production capacity. We added 3 new apparel factories in 2021. We added 1 new ball factory, and we shifted our stick manufacturing from 100% based in Asia to now we have a factory opened up in Canada, North America. So that was really exciting. The factory in Canada is doing our pro line of sticks, our junior stick line, and our first line of sticks that we launched in 2019 is still being produced over in Asia. We'll move the rest of that supply chain over this year. The second big highlight for us was upgrading our software stack. So we're able to push all of our orders through APIs now. There's no more spreadsheets, no more manual order processing. So that was really big. And it really, we couldn't manage scaling the way we have without automating all of that. We upgraded our software so that no 2 players on the same team within the same program are able to order the same number. That just eliminates a huge headache for parents, program directors, and coaches. And then we were able to sandbox test our proof of concept for automating the creation of production-ready art files using a patented set of code that we were able to get exclusive access to. So that's huge. That's one of the 6 modules for our athletics software that we're building. And that is the hardest and most complex module. So that was really exciting. Number 3, we went from 10 programs signed at the beginning of the year to over 100 programs by the end of the year. Those 100 programs represent over 12,000 athletes. And by the end of this year, we're thinking, we're based on our inside sales data, we'll be at around 40,000 athletes. That represents 40% of our team sales revenue that we're forecasting. It's already booked for 2022. So now we're just building on top of that revenue base. The 4th highlight is closing the 10X acquisition. And then I consider it a highlight that we walked away from the second acquisition that we had on the table. At the end of the day, we determined that it was not a good culture fit, and culture's our biggest competitive advantage. So we weren't willing to compromise that. I did have tunnel vision on the deal, And fortunately, we had a deal team that was reviewing the deal, and we were able to highlight some of the red flags. And then when we brought them up to the seller, the way they responded was just not on brand with our culture. So we ended up rescinding our offer and walking away from the deal. That said, closing the 10X acquisition was huge. It added a nice base of revenue, and it's a great grassroots marketing proponent for us. And then the fifth highlight is we rounded out our management team. So bringing on a director of client fulfillment, someone with that level of experience, Bobby, was really good. We brought on a product manager. That's going to be huge for being able to just scale our ability to launch new products and iterate. And then a wonderful accounting manager, Veronica, who has just made all of our lives so much better by providing us with some real data that we can make decisions off of. And she just does it so fast every single month. And it's something that we did not have in 2019, and it's made a world of difference in, or we didn't have it in 2020. It's made a world of difference in 2021. So, and then we brought on a fractional CTO, a gentleman named Sergio. He's got a really strong background. He's done 3 venture-backed startups. He's built more than 3 apps on Shopify, and just a really experienced CTO with a great network of developers. So that was really exciting. And then we brought on a fractional CFO, a gentleman named Matt, who has a focus on e-commerce, which is huge for us. And then 3 great sales reps. So I'll shift to talking a little bit about our 2022 roadmap.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, if you have any if anyone has any questions about the terms of the raise, including the use of proceeds, please check out the Start Engine page. I've added the link to the page in the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to look through that page.
Are we allowed to answer that question here, or is that one that we have to point back to the Start Engine page?
Yeah, we have to point back to the Start Engine page.
All right. So full disclosure for all of the amazing investors on this call, there are certain questions that the SEC won't let us answer, and we have to redirect them to the Start Engine page. So that's why we can't just answer them, although we really want to. And Khalil is moderating so that I don't. So thank you, Khalil. So 2022 roadmap, we're projecting over 50% year-over-year growth. The real key highlights for us are completing our Series A round. We're almost 60% of the way funded on our $2 million round, which is really exciting. Hopefully by the end of this Zoom, we'll be at 100%. The number 2 highlight for us is continuing to scale the number of programs that we're signing week over week. So at the beginning of 2021, we were signing on average 1 new program each week. I think in the last 90 days, we've scaled that up to signing between 4 to 5 new programs a week, which is really exciting. And that's really been a function of growing the number of sales reps that we have from 1 to 4 full time, and then scaling our marketing funnels. We're really just at the beginning of scaling our marketing funnels. There's a lot of room for us to grow there. The biggest thing that we've focused on with our marketing funnels is being sport agnostic. So we've designed our marketing funnels so that when we enter into field hockey in April, May of this year, we'll be able to apply those same marketing funnels to the field hockey market. We'll just shift the copy a little bit. So the words on the page, other than that, and the images. Other than that, all things are going to stay the same. The number 3 highlight for us is increasing the retention rate. So what we figured out last year is that on-time delivery rate is the number 1 driver of client retention. And so we've really put an emphasis on getting to a 99.9% on-time delivery rate. realistically, I think if our team's able to achieve 95% on-time delivery rate, that's a home run. If we're able to get to a 99.9, we're an absolute all-star. Number 4 highlight for us is going to be launching SignatureLocker.com, which we're targeting April, May launch. And that'll allow us to expand into field hockey, and it'll set us up nicely to enter into soccer and basketball in 2023. Number 5, and the final highlight is really product expansion. So we've built out all of our field hockey uniform lines. They're ready to launch. We are in the process of building out our basketball uniform lines, our soccer uniform lines. Those will be ready to launch by the beginning of Q3. We'll end up launching them in Q4. And then the Signature Athletics apparel line. So we're planning on a June, July launch, end of Q2, beginning of Q3. And we're going super premium, really high end. Some of the brands that we're looking at as a good analog for the line that we're developing are brands like 10,000, Legends, Lululemon. We're really going super premium, highest end of the market. And we're making it so that all that product can be decorated on demand, the same way we're doing our team stores. So we're going to launch 10 products in that line. We're going to launch in 10 sizes and 2 colors each. So it's a total of 200 SKUs. It's a really, really exciting play for us. We haven't really modeled out in our forecasts how that network effect will really scale our sales. So we're really excited to get some data behind it so that we can really add that to our projections and see what it looks like over the next couple of years. And then last is our lacrosse equipment line. So obviously we're shifting to really focus on apparel. We have developed some incredible lacrosse equipment lines, and we're going to continue to scale those lines. So we're launching our pro line of lacrosse sticks. That'll be carbon fiber shafts, true titanium shafts. We'll have a defensive head coming out this year. We'll have our Universal 2.0 head coming out this year. And then we'll have our pro line of women's sticks coming out this year, which feature a really innovative mesh pocket that we've been working on with a partner. And it allows the ball to really sit in a sweet spot that gives our women's stick, I think, the best hold in the market, which is the #1 thing that women's lacrosse players look for in a stick. And then we have our 2.0 goal coming out this year. I won't spoil the surprise, but it is pretty sweet. So with all that said, I do want to just take a second to just thank the team. We have gone through a lot of iterations to get to this point as a company. And we've had an incredibly loyal team that's just been there for each other through COVID, through all the adversity that we faced in getting the company to this point. And just really, it would not be possible without our incredible team. And I think it's really important that we highlight them.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan, for sharing the 2021 highlights on the 2022 roadmaps. I think now better than ever to go through some of these questions that are being asked in the chat. Like I mentioned before, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them here, and we'll be happy to answer them on this webinar. And if we don't get to your questions, feel free to email us, and Dan himself will answer the questions for you.
Yeah, can everybody see my email on the screen and my phone number?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, hit me. The harder, the better.
First question. Are there any plans to increase direct-to-consumer sales through the team sale portal are players able to easily add on signature products like shafts and mesh?
That's a great question. I am going to answer that with a quick demo. So for anybody who is looking to check this out, you can go to signaturelacrosse.com. You can click Team Stores here. And then this is a list of all of the stores that we've partnered with, or all the programs, I'm sorry, that we've partnered with and launched a store for. So I will highlight the Tampa Palms. And so this is an example of one of our team stores. If you go to tampapalmslacrosse.com, I think that's their website, you'll see that they have an in their navigation bar up here, they have something that says team store or team swag. If you click that, it'll take you back to this page. So we get the benefit of all that SEO value and those backlinks, and that really boosts our organic search in Google. We get a quote from the program director that builds social proof and trust with the program. And then we feature their 3-piece set. This is their required uniform package for the season. And then to answer your question very directly, there's also all of our stick products and then all of the fan gear. We're actually in the process of re-merchandising the team stores. So we're going through a big audit right now. And then we'll launch, I think February 1st is the target to launch the new team store design. So this is actually going to get a huge overhaul, but even the way it is right now, we've been able to 5x the average sales that team stores are generating. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, that answered that.
And look at those designs. I mean, sweet.
That was a great answer. Looks great already. Okay, and then we have a question. What makes this store any different than the online stores that every team dealer uses?
That's a great question. So our stores are 24/7, 365. They never close. There's no 2-week order window. It's not a pop-up store. There's no minimum order quantity on any of the items in the store. And as the items are ordered, we're actually making them on demand. So we're actually taking that order, sending it through an API to the factory, and then we're producing that order as soon as it's ordered. So the biggest difference is we're using an on-demand model, whereas the rest of the market is using the traditional bulk order model. So they'll set up a 2-week pop-up store. They'll have minimum order quantities on all the items. If the minimum order quantity isn't met, they'll refund the orders and they won't send out that product.
Awesome. That answers the question. And then who sets the selling prices on the store?
We set the selling prices on the store. Yep.
And then question from Damaris. If you are managing the creation and delivery of uniforms, are you doing the printing and shipping in-house, or are you outsourcing another company to do that for you?
That's a great question. So we use a network approach. So we've built relationships with factories and service level agreements that are consistent across the board of our supplier network. And as orders are placed, we push the orders through an API to our factory partners, and then they're actually producing, packaging, delivering the product on our behalf. It is all our cut and sew patterns. It's our fabrics. There are products, and then they're contract manufacturing on our behalf.
And then is your system live? Can we order uniforms now?
Sure thing. Yeah, I know those designs were pretty sweet, huh? Yeah, you can go ahead and place an order and you'll have it. Right now, our production, last year we were at 21 days to produce a uniform fully custom. on demand. At the start of this year, we're at 15 days for production, and by the end of this year, we should be down to 7 to 10 days.
Okay. And I know you've kind of touched about this on earlier on, but do you have any patents on your system slash tech?
Yeah, we're patent pending, and exactly what we're patent pending on is the automatic creation of production-ready art files for dye sublimation, cut and sew manufacturing, custom products with personalization. So that's basically a fancy way of saying when you put in your last name here and then you select which team you're on within this program and you pick your number and your sizes, as soon as you click add to cart and order the product, our software is going to run an automatic script. It's going to drop the last name and number into predefined drop zones on the actual production ready art file. It's then going to grade the file to the correct size. So all grading means is if it was we start with a size large. If somebody orders a size medium, we actually have to grade the file down so that when it gets produced on a blank roll of fabric, it's the correct size once they cut it out and sew it together. So the patent pending is also covers the creation of a unique QR code that houses all the order information and all the product information. And that actually gets dropped into a locker tag, which usually is featured right here. And if it's not, then it would go where a sewn in tag would normally go. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Great.
Who are your main competitors in the space? Are you in the high end or mid? Do US based manufacturers like Pro Athletics pose a threat to growth?
Not at all. We have one factory in Mexico, one factory, and then the rest of our factories are in the US when it comes to apparel. Pro Athletics, I would see as somebody who could be a factory partner of ours. I do not see them as a competitor. The software that they use, we explored in the past and determined that it wasn't a viable option. So we built our own, and the reason we ended up building our own is because there was nothing out of the box that we could get. If there was, we would use it, but nobody has created software that can create production ready art files for on-demand manufacturing of dye sublimated cut and sewn goods, which is really polyester based premium athletic apparel wear and swimwear. So where do we fall pricing wise? We're going to be right at or below a Nike Under Armour, and then above the majority of the market. So right in that sweet spot.
And then a question from Lance. I'm assuming you only want to and or are only able to sell your own proprietary clothing gear to clubs and organizations, meaning if a lacrosse or even soccer club is tied to Under Armour or Nike, then the locker room program wouldn't be fit for them at the time, correct? Let me know if I'm misunderstanding. If that's correct, how do you bring new clubs over? Aren't most of them tied to one manufacturer or another as one of the first things they do when they start the club?
That's a great question. So you are correct. That is our strategy. So we are using our on-demand model to build the Signature Athletics apparel brand. Funny enough, we have already taken some major club programs away from New Balance, Under Armour, and Nike. So just in the first 2 years, we're seeing that there's a real demand for a solution to this problem. And that demand is so strong that it overrides a program's affinity towards some of the legacy brands in the space. And then once they feel our product and they start, they get samples of our product, they realize the quality level is very, very comparable. The construction is very similar. The fabric selection is very similar. The biggest difference is we have a cooler logo, I would say.
Awesome, Lance. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, did it? Lance, feel free to ask follow-on question in the chat. We've experienced this in lacrosse. We've been able to shift it. One thing I'll add to that is when you're using like a Nike, an Under Armour, an Adidas, you're going through a distributor. And so there's no way for them to possibly meet the turnaround times that we're offering. And there's no way for them to possibly meet the quality level and the pricing because there's just too many people in the value chain. They have to mark it up substantially more to provide the same level of quality. And they can't provide the same level of on-time delivery.
And then I think we have, we have time for a couple more questions. If you have any last minute questions, right now is the time to add them here to the box. Question that Zach had, and I was going to ask the same question. What's the story behind the logo?
What's the story behind the logo? So when we first got started, we launched under a different name, and it was kind of like, hey, let's see if this works. Once it really started to work, and we were selling, I think at that point, almost 1 million balls we had sold. We decided we needed to really look at creating a brand and really starting to take this very seriously. And so we went and engaged with a marketing firm, a good friend of mine who was a former head of digital marketing at ESPN. And they came up with a bunch of different concepts. We went to our social media following and we presented all the different logos. And then we actually had our clients pick the logo. The cool thing about the flamingo is the outline is actually the shape of a lacrosse head, if you can see that. And then the neckline is actually in the shape of an S for signature. And then the flamingo ties back to our Florida roots without geographically constraining us. And then we wanted to have a unisex logo, something that could resonate with men and women. And so the flamingo was born.
And then I think Lance commented, and he's asking are the margins adjustable? I understand smaller clubs don't see uniforms and gear as a profit source, but the larger clubs definitely use it as a large profit source. And I'm wondering if 5% margin is enough to win over larger clubs.
That's a great question. So that's a great question. Sorry. We actually give 10% back now. So we've shifted since we made that video from 5% to 10%. And the way that our model works is a little bit different than most. We teach our sales reps to be consultants. So we teach our sales reps, you are growth consultants for these programs. They want to focus on coaching. They want to focus on the player development model. And that's what they should be doing. You as a sales rep, as a signature sales rep, you're a consultant to them. So you need to help them understand how they can make their business more sustainable so they have more money to reinvest into growing the program and into scholarshiping kids who really wouldn't have the opportunity otherwise. So most programs include the cost of the uniform as part of the registration fee. When we start working with the program, we coach them to stop doing that. We coach them to now offer their registration fee for their program, for you to participate in their program and get the amazing coaching and the amazing experience that they provide. And then post registering for the program, the parents are going to get hit with an email from us, time to order your uniform for the season. They come, click through the link and order their uniform. No parent that can afford it has any issue spending $100 on 3 pieces of fully custom apparel. If they went to Dick's Sporting Goods, they'd spend more than $100 and it wouldn't be custom and it wouldn't be their kid's favorite thing to wear. So what we've found is that it's really not a hard rub with the parents, and it totally flips the P&L for the programs, which again makes us stick a lot harder with the programs we work with.
And Lance and everyone else, if you have any further questions, feel free to email Dan. And Dan's email is right here up on the screen. Dan, thank you so much for hopping on to today's webinar. It's been a delight. How can someone, get more information?
Yeah, so first, thank you, Khalil, for setting this up. We really appreciate it. There's 2 ways. So our Start Engine campaign, you can find on startengine.com/signature-reg-cf2. And you can learn more just by checking out this page. There's a ton of really great content on here, and you can invest directly. And then if you want to check out what we're doing on our website, signaturelacrosse.com, and then you can also email me directly, and I'll drop my email in the chat right here. Actually, Khalil, do you mind doing that? Because I am having trouble figuring out how to do that.
Yeah, no worries. You want to just go back to the pitch deck? I can just pull up that email for you.
Yeah. Sorry, there it is. All right. So yeah, email's right here. Feel free to email me directly, and check us out on social media. You can follow us on Instagram. We got a YouTube, Twitter, and then LinkedIn as well. So.
And everyone, I do want to remind everyone that this webinar has been recorded, so we will be sending a recap video for whoever wants to rewatch it or whoever has missed the webinar can relive all of these amazing questions that you guys asked and Dan answered. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that in the next couple of days. And again, thank you guys so much for hopping in. And if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to Dan and visit the Start Engine page.
Thank you all.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.